Hello everybody, it's Mimberly. Welcome back to the channel. Now, this is actually the first video I'm recording since being 27, so I'm getting old. Anyway, let's move on. So, we are with Love and Chick Space again. Now, we reacted to them previously. Nikki was really nice enough to comment on the last video, which it did get me kind of flustered because I wasn't expecting them to see that video. But this video is called a 20-year-old game, or a 20-year, oh my god, 20-year-old. If Nikki was 20 and she was already got 20 years of experience, I'd be showing concern. A 20-year-old game dev explains the Caleb x Valko Backlash. It's not what you think. Now, this is kind of, this came up on my recommended. I was like, you know what, this is very relevant to the current situation with the Caleb banner still running for like another 5 days. So I thought, let's just watch it. Let's just see what Nikki's got to say. But my overall verdict of the situation is I think Infold have to run business as normal right now to prove to basically, you know, whoever is investigating them right now. My theory still stands is that the government in China's gotten involved, and essentially the situation is that they've been told to operate business as normal, which is why they have suddenly picked up on Twitter again, but they have still not addressed Valko. Now, unfortunately, I think they've done something similar to this in the past, being the silent treatment. The difference is global players react to silence as a form of guilt rather than, or like basically admitting they've done wrong instead of directly addressing it. Now, my theory is that they're doing it to gather evidence. So by running, you know, the God of Annihilation rerun, then the Wonder and Wonder, now we've got the Caleb card, which is the basketball one, I forget what it's called. I think it's Summer Surge, I could be wrong. And now if they run Raphael Myth after this is going to break a lot of players, I feel like. And I think a lot of players are already on there. I'm on the border of completely just, not just boycotting Infold in general, but I mean disconnecting from the community completely. But my theory is that they're basically using it to collect evidence to say, look, we need to bring Valko back because it is too badly affecting our revenue and it's making us look bad. But I, again, do not know what's going on. Unfortunately, until Infold address the situation, we do not know anything. But I am curious because Nikki has got a shit ton of experience on this sort of thing with her working in like PR, like crisis PR and things like that. So I would be very interested to see what their verdict is. And of course, you've got the beautiful Mama Void as well, to encourage us frisky children. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, and I am going to go and quickly sort my tea bag out while they introduce themselves.
Trust me, Mama Void is bigger than Nikki in many ways.
Oh. Hello.
Make you do one set of Bulgarian split squats and you just want to kill me.
Look, my thighs
my brain
are
went
still
to
shaking.
NSFW, okay?
They're
Number
quivering.
They're quivering. I now, as a writer, I have grown in these past hours where I now have a better understanding about when to use the word quivering and what that actually means. People are overusing it.
Oh, dear me.
You don't know what a quiver is until you're holding your bestie's shoulder with your leg kicked up to your butt while trying to hold weights and squat, going, ah!
I have got that image in my head now. I can't get it out.
God, as we're sitting there looking like we're in a junior high gym dance, like, all right, leave space for Jesus. I'm going to hold your shoulders. Let's do this.
I'm shocked we haven't been kicked out of the gym yet. I'm so not gonna lie. So I'm like waiting for them to be like, so the gym that we go to, and I absolutely appreciate this from them, has when you sign their agreement, they're like, by the way, no excessive grunting or yelling when using weights.
The fact they've had to put that in the contract says they've had to deal with this before.
And I was like, what about excessive tears?
What about sobbing? Do you accept sobbing?
Yeah, crying we
What
can
happens if I
accept.
just start crying at the start? Okay, great. I love
Like,
that for me.
Like, you know, things just become a bit unbearable. You just start getting emotional. Next thing you know, the tears are coming, but you're trying to hold them back 'cause you don't want to be kicked out of the gym. I've tried going to gyms before. Never went well because of certain assets on my body. Unfortunately, it became more of a Tinder date than anything else. But I am trying to like lose weight at home at the moment, so I do appreciate the people who do like, you know, go to the gym regularly. I really should get into gym again, but I'm scared and I got social anxiety. Maybe I could drag Cade with me if we ever got a day off together. But saying that, he'd be just as bad as me, because we go to the gym and then we go get Mackie, so we're kind of be like, you know, counter doing the
How
thing.
do you feel about inappropriate motivation?
Well, there's a lot of talk of the boys in the gym in very inappropriate ways.
Because
Feel this.
there's
Tell
some
ya, the best way to get Mama to do a seated cable row is just be like, I'm gonna not finish that. You can use your imagination on what she's seated on.
I
So
looked at
hold her
Zane's
up while
back,
she pulls.
and it was there. I was locked in on his back,
Really?
and I
Because I
just
thought you had just imagined yourself spearing Silas's sausage as you stood. That's cool.
no, that's
Fine.
squatting, babe. That's bouncing. You need
Oh,
thighs.
is that the squat? Okay. Is that what you were imagining? I don't know. I think the Russian twists were my favorite. you almost were crying. She's like, I am sitting up, and she. Friends, she was not sitting up.
I was. My shoulders were off the ground, bitch.
Nope. No, they weren't.
Oh
In
my
your
God.
heart.
No, they were.
Abs-
They were.
No, they were in your heart. I appreciate that for you.
Fuck you, miss. We'll do this at the end of our workout. It'll be
Somebody
fine.
showed up late.
Somebody showed up when we agreed to. Normally, you were the one who texted
Nope.
me at apparently
Nope.
8:50, being, "Hey, bitch, I'm on my way." And I'm like, "What the fuck? We usually do 8:15." You and I had this conversation. 8:15.
You said you just said
9:15.
By the way, we do between 9 and 9:15.
Right.
I had dropped off Kitten early, and at an appropriate time, I got to the gym at 9. I was on the treadmill or elliptical at 9:05. You didn't come over to me until 9:20, and almost vomited on your first leg curl. Guys, I was like, oh shit. I don't know how to explain this.
You have to explain it to the Voidbringer.
Oh.
And she already did on the like. I took her, and I may have killed your daughter.
Oh yeah, it was really good. I was like, I took her on a lovely tour of Eastern Europe, and it didn't go well.
Look, if I'm gonna have Bulgarians fuck me up, I would prefer it to be pleasurable.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
It wasn't that bad.
Was it not for
I mean,
you?
maybe.
Because I remember you almost puking on the Russian twist, and we didn't even have vodka.
Oh no, I didn't puke on the Russian twist. I cursed every side.
Oh, she did. There was a swear word with every twist. His glorious children. Absolutely.
I didn't puke. I fucking cussed. There was no
yes.
lying about
Love it.
that.
Love it.
Beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, if anybody comes around this corner and hears us,
We're gonna get kicked out. I mean, yeah, our workouts are 18 plus too, apparently.
Understandable, to be honest.
we don't do anything for
And
kids.
I got through Zane, Raphael, and Xavier. I'm almost done
You
getting
did. She's
Raph's
working
workout
through
clothes.
those, and I'm like, I need to download the thing onto the phone.
So I have
but after
Silas,
the shenaniganry,
Caleb, and Zane's outfits. I have like the achievements for working out with them. I don't have the outfits for
outfits.
Raph and Xavier yet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I gotta do that on my Valko account. Yeah, I forgot about that.
We're gonna get there.
I don't even think I have enough affinity with anyone but Xavier at the moment to even do the workouts. Because I'm not leveling or pulling for any of the cards. I'm trying to save for when Valko comes back. Hopium.
gonna get there. It's gonna happen. It's fine. It's fine.
fine.
It's all fine. My legs are still shaky. It's cool. I went to
been
bed
12
down
hours.
to
They
pick up my
quivering?
cat, and my entire body went. If you bend down, you're staying down. I was like, Binksy, you're gonna have to. Hey, honey, can you come jump here on the platform? I can pick you up from here, bestie. Yeah, no, my meow. My lower body was like, no.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
Lift with
I'm
your
Satan, by the way.
lift with your back, lift with your knees.
If
lift
you
with
want my
something
workout
else.
split, hit me up. I'm happy to share.
And I'm learning how to be a
Mama's
proper
like,
spotter.
I don't want your workout split. I want to go back. I don't like this one anymore.
Fair play.
Fun at the gym with your besties, kids.
I know. I could take you to play basketball.
The sheer volume from junior high to high school of coaches who saw me and were like, you should do
You're tall.
sports. And I was like, That's precious. I can't walk a straight line sober, let alone stand without falling
Can
over.
confirm.
Feel this.
This
That's
is
true.
not. I am a klutz. This is not going to end well for you. The one coach from the one of the schools the high schools that I was touring for was trying so hard, like, maybe a setter, you just have to stand there and whack it.
Ironically, Nikki T has actual tea. Both
She does.
figuratively and literally. I'm drinking hojicha. Actually, mugicha.
Oh,
I
nice.
take it back. Barley tea.
I love that. I have water because I'm
Excellent.
basic.
We like water.
And because you need to hydrate those quivering thigh muscles.
I do. Oh my god! I went to sit
God's
in my
sake.
chair and my lower back went no, and I was like, no, please. The amount of lumbar support I have right now. I'm
I
old.
can imagine.
Oh
You
my
are.
God.
Let's do this.
I bet Mama Void and Nikki aren't even that old, really. I bet you now they're not even that old.
supplemented. I'm hydrated. I've had my protein. My background is glorious.
Beautiful.
It is.
We look like
There's
the
no
two different
iPads
versions
today.
of the afterlife. And we look like we're about to take for hell.
I am. Hello.
Mama Void is the
Hello.
heaven.
Welcome
Nikki's
to the
the hell.
Hellfront check-in desk. I'm Nikki T. How can I help you today? Oh, you're looking for the ring of sloth and debauchery. Excellent, right on time.
Like,
I do like the background though.
We
quiet.
have
Oh, dear.
vibes, guys. We got vibes.
There are two very
Excellent.
distinctive vibes happening on these talking heads right now.
Also, before we get any further into this, I am going to put the link to this video in the description, along with Void, Nikki, and Love and Chick Space's channels individually in the description. If you haven't already from the last video, please make sure you go over and check them out. They are, honestly, they are such good vibes. Absolutely adore them. And this is kind of one of those channels that this is one of these channels that I've reacted to this year that's really stood out to me. So yeah, that says something, because I've watched a lot of content creators in the last couple of months, and these two really do stand out for me. So make sure you check them out, please.
No.
Thank you.
We're going to be talking heads today because I looked at Mama and I was like, I have game development notes. Oh my God.
Game development notes. Yes.
Has some
Give me the
big
tea.
feelings.
Nikki,
I have
give me the
some
tea.
feelings.
So we're going to discuss it, and if
go.
there's time at the end of this therapy session, I may discuss lore. We'll see what
I've
happens.
got bed shorts on, so sorry if
Damn.
you see my shit ass
That's
thighs.
painful, buddy.
You apparently missed the big one where I kind of traumatized chat during stream today when I was like, so everybody has this thing about being seen and the fear of our loved ones. I went on a thing. It was a moment.
Oh,
I didn't
proud
really
of you.
traumatize people.
That's
So
cool.
sorry, everybody. We went a little deep.
Deep as gut. Whoa, that's wrong. Deep as... I'm... I should stop.
Yeah,
Okay. Go deep. Go deeper. Always
Stop.
deeper.
No, I don't. Nope. Mm-mm.
Void.
Nope.
We're
Mama,
gonna
please.
dive balls
No.
deep into these
Mama,
feelings.
please.
Okay, we're gonna dive balls deep into Caleb. Nope, doesn't work. It does,
Hear me out. Would Caleb be into pegging? If no, you know what? I'm not going to ask that question because I feel like I'm already struggling.
You want us to? I mean, it's basketballs. Balls are on point. We are on
True.
theme. Let's talk about those
I
balls.
have a feeling of the two of us, I'm actually the only one who knows things about basketball.
I mean, yes and no. There are teams. There are baskets also in basket.
I mean,
There
yeah.
are teams, there are baskets,
There's some
and
balls
there are
going
balls.
baskets.
Both literally and
You
on
get 3
the
points
gentleman.
if you shoot before the line, and then at the line it's 2 points, and then there's the layup and the slam dunk. And either way, men are sweaty and it's hot to look at, and the women are actually technically better than the men, but nobody talks about
True.
that because we shit on women's sports, and that's my PSA today of support your female sports. Fuck the patriarchy.
Yes, because
Excellent.
by the way, the official U.S. hockey, soccer, or football, and basketball teams for women are better than the men's.
Woo!
They kick ass and take names. They're
Boom.
amazing to watch.
Women.
So anyway,
Make a
so
corner.
back to Caleb's sweaty balls. Let's go.
Excellent.
Yes. So
And his smile as he shows off for his girl. It's great
oh, it's
every
so
time.
cute. And then that picture people mall photography pose.
Oh my
that
God.
We're gonna get. Oh my God, guys! If you ever
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even notice that because I was so angry at the
wanted
trailer.
to grow up in the '90s and do a
Oh.
Macy's photo shoot, That's it right
Oh
there.
my
Enough
god.
Here's the problem, though. There weren't
There wasn't enough
jeans.
denim. There's not
There
enough
wasn't
denim.
enough denim. I was like, this is missing a lot of
They
denim.
need to be in matching blue jeans with the white t-shirt.
Oh, they have to absolutely do that Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. Do you remember
Oh my god.
the full jean outfit for the Grammys? You remember that? The couple's outfit?
Yes.
The
So,
infamous outfits?
The infamous outfits, which is now making a comeback. Don't do it, guys. It's fucking terrible.
I mean,
but-
denim is great. Bring back denim jackets. I miss denim jackets. Like the lowrider jeans, that's a slippery slope, kids. Don't do it. We did there. We barely survived it. It's like my eyebrows. I don't know how I made it out of the 90s in certain things, but we did. And I want you to survive. So don't get into that trend. But the denim jackets, fucking hot. Do it.
I have a denim jacket and I absolutely
Okay.
love wearing it, but it's too thick to wear on most of the
Great.
days
We're
right now.
about to have really intellectual and deep philosophical feelings, and all I got at the moment is
No,
denim
I'm in-
jackets.
I mean, like, that's the thing. Denim jackets are kind of like hit and miss for me because it depends on what you put them with, and I feel like they're very easy to kind of mess up in an outfit. Like, I've got multiple jackets. I have hoodies, I have jackets, I've got, like, full-blown hoodies, as in, like, one you pull over your head. I've got so many, like, different things to, like, put on top. I can't wear any of them at the moment because we're still going for a heat wave in the UK. Hence the cooler always being on, but that cooler is working overtime because it's just always running. But I can't wear jackets, and it makes me sad because I end up wearing basic bitch-ass stuff like this stuff.
I'm in an
Which is weird.
educational
Plumbing is usually your
space.
thing. This is
I-
weird.
I
I've been
know,
in your
I
space
like to-
lately.
Yeah, you haven't. It's okay. We're
Yeah.
training. It's fine.
It's
But-
what am I, an intern? What the fuck? I'm not Valerie.
I didn't say training. I said trading. With the
Did you?
D, like balls.
With the
and
D?
dick. Okay. This is... Oh my god. Hey, but before we talk about dick, let's thank our members.
Woo! This is all
Speaking of
chaos, and
circle
I love
jerks.
it.
Hi, everybody!
Oh god.
Our personal fluffers. Speaking of fluffers.
No, no,
Oh,
buddy. No, that's wrong. Ain't nobody fluffing me. I'm good. Maybe my hair.
I mean, your hair could use some fluffing. See,
No,
there
it
you go.
doesn't.
I've got you, Bessie.
Stop. You got me. Okay. So there was a lot of talk about when the Caleb card came out on various parts of the internet, including our Discord server. And it's just like Infold keeps taking the fucking hits, guys. First,
yeah.
there was the leak about Raphael's myth that hit the Google store, and
Yeah, I saw this. Now, before Nikki goes into it, I'm gonna like kind of put my thoughts into it beforehand, and then see what Nikki says, kind of see if we're on the same track. I'm actually gonna make my cursor visible for this, so you can see where I'm pointing. So, where it said the Wish Pull Martial Ode, featuring Raphael's memory pair, is available for a limited time, along with special offers on combat outfits and more rewards. Martial Ode, that's just the name of the myth. That does not tell us the name of the cards. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I kind of was just like, we were expecting this, okay? Like, I particularly was not surprised to see that this happened. It feels like there's a lot going on in the background at the moment, which, again, a lot of it we don't know really what's going on. We can only make speculations based off of what we know, which is very little, unfortunately. I think the reason that this Caleb card came out first is because, again, if they were to release Raphael's myth now, I think that would have done a lot more damage than this Caleb card would have done. Now, what they are doing is sucky. I'm going to say that now, because they are taking hits for, like, multiple mains are taking hits. Obviously, you had Zane, who had the God of Annihilation rerun. You had the Wonder and Wonder rerun, which is a banner that was very highly awaited for a very long time. And now you got this new Caleb card. And I'm going to be honest, I would not be surprised if Info drop Raphael's myth next. Now, do I think it's a wise decision for them to do that? Absolutely not. It's already bad enough that they've not addressed the Valko situation, and I don't think, again, that Info are doing it maliciously. I think they just can't, because especially if the CCP or the CN government's gotten involved. But what I will say is, it's every possible person or every man in the game is going to get fucked over to a degree. So the Zane girlies have been fucked over. Obviously now the Caleb girlies are being fucked over. Technically, you know, the main four have been fucked over as well with the Wonder and Wonder rerun. So in a way, you could argue that every love interest in the game, the girlies have been fucked over at some point. Now, the Wonder and Wonder, thankfully, I had Grassland Romance on my account, so I didn't feel the need to break my boycott to get it. But I'm not spending any money. Disclaimer: I'm literally just using in-game resources for anything. If I do use anything, which I haven't since Valko got cancelled, but I did really want to get at least gem affection, so I am gutted, but I am still convinced that they're going to bring Valko back in some way. I just hope it's not like they did with Mr. Love Queen's Choice, where they made one of the characters a special encounter at a later date. But I also know that there's a lot of people from Infinity Nikki who are concerned about the state of the game as well, because they're worried about how this could affect Infinity Nikki. And I want to say there was like quite a big I do not understand the full context of this, and maybe Nikki will dive into this later, but I feel like this is way bigger than what happened with Infinity Nikki. And we have had so many like articles. I think The Gamer recently released one for us like regarding the Valko situation. There's just so many things going on right now, and we genuinely just do not know what's going on left or right. So until we hear anything from it, until Infold officially reconfirmed that Valko is going to remain cancelled, I'm not convinced he's never going to come back. But I would also not be surprised if the whole main story has been rewritten, because if you guys remember, Caleb's main story update was supposed to come in September with Silas following in November. Now, what should have happened before the fucking aunties got involved, and yes, I'm going to continue calling them the fucking aunties because they don't deserve any respect. We should have probably, so what would have happened, we would have had the Valko update with the main story, then that would have followed and led on to Caleb at the next patch. Now that that's not happened, Infold are on a time crunch because we have Zane's birthday coming up, and girls are going to be up in arms if we do not celebrate Zane's birthday. But it's also going to be hard because, like me, there was a bunch of people who had their birthday events in Lads, and Valko was not there to wish us happy birthday. Like, it genuinely got me really upset that Valko wasn't there. So Info do need to do something, because the longer they wait, the louder we're going to get, and the longer this is going to go on. And I think they've already suffered quite a lot of reputational damage.
And I can explain kind of what happened there.
Happened?
Caleb. It was Caleb. And then Caleb happened. And then they launched a Caleb card with a piece of content, right? It's going to be a 5-star card. Standard shit. Very run of the mill.
The usual
and
things.
I think usual things. And I was semi-surprised by the reaction of the community, where people were like, oh my god, it's been a couple of months, we haven't heard anything. Somebody said, I read, like, what, they just expect us to go back to normal. They've messed up here, there, everywhere. And my favorite line is, Caleb's the scapegoat. I'm like, no, it was whoever had the next release was gonna get fucked.
Very true. You could have released a Silas solo. You could have released a Caleb, like you did. You could have released any character, and they still would have had the same reaction.
No matter what. Also, it hasn't been, I don't know where this narrative, it's been months. It has not been months.
It's been like a month.
It's been a month.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Even though it's the longest fucking month we've gone through as a community, I feel. It's been a very loud month. There's been a lot going on, but the honest truth is that the fact that we're still fighting for Valko after a month really does emphasize just how strong we are as a community when we come together. But also the fact that I think people's interpretation of time is completely off, because my personal theory is if CN government and CCP has gotten involved, this is probably going to go on for another couple of months. So we have to expect the company to a degree to run as normal while this is all going on. I mean, the fact that they kept banners for as quiet as they did for the period that they did should show us at least that they're not just running the business as normal. They've probably been put under orders to continue running the game because they're losing so much revenue if they don't run anything. But as much as I hate to say it, that's one of the reasons why I kind of said the last time I was asked of, oh, what's my perspective with the whole thing with Infold. That's why I said if we haven't heard anything by the end of this year, being 2026, then I will start having to think about my decision long term, because I appreciate that legal things can take a very, very long time to go through. And remember, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to say it one more time. The Western side of the world runs completely different than China. China has a completely different law enforcement. They have completely different processes. So, of course, we're going to look at it and be, oh, it's been a month. What's going on? But to them, a month is not really that much, not that much time at all, really.
One. It's not been many months. It's not like they've been silent for half a year. It's been 1 month.
Yeah.
And no matter who came out, everybody was going to scream.
Mm-hmm.
The irony of it is part of the whole shenaniganry was also a lot of Caleb and Silas girlies complaining about lack of content. Okay,
right, I got to talk about that real quick. So, lack of content. While I do understand it, that's always going to be the case. Okay? Now, before you lot go smashing me in the comments, just let me explain. So, Xavier, Zane, and Raphael have been in the game since release. We all know this. We knew them in beta. So, it only naturally makes sense that they've got more content. Now, just picture this for a moment. If Infold wanted to go, okay, we have Silas and Caleb, we've got Valko coming out, we need to get enough content out for all of them to catch up with the other three, without literally annihilating us when it comes to runs and things like that, which we're already kind of stretched as it is with Infold's normal schedule, they would have to not make content for the other three for an extended period of time to catch up, or rerun certain cards for the OG free while they're catching up with Silas and Caleb. Now, I guarantee you now, there's no way that Infold are going to please everyone in this situation. This is not me defending them. This is just me saying how I think it would go. If they decided to go, okay, let's just pretend it's 7.0, Valko's back in the game or whatever. Let's just pretend that for a minute, which would be the ideal solution. 7.0 comes around and it goes, okay, we've heard your cries about a lack of content for Silas, Caleb, and Valko. So we're only going to be making banners for them for the first 6 months of 2027. Right? I guarantee you now, Zane, Raphael, and Xavier Gerties would be up in arms, threatening to burn HQ down. And the only other way that we're ever going to catch up on content is if either A, work for the main three slow down, or B, they increase the schedule. Either way, they're not going to please everybody. So, while I do understand that there's a lack of content for certain characters, that's just down to release date. That's just naturally how these things happen.
Caleb comes out, woohoo, you get Caleb content, but we're going to shit all over it. And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm. And I think, for me, from the development side, I was just really surprised at the reaction, I guess.
Yeah, it was really
because weird. This is my two sort of questions, and this is a legit question I have for any of our listeners. I'm going to make a couple of polls on the episode. How many live service games have you played or ever played?
Okay, right. So how many live service games have I played or ever played? So let me count this. So we've played Genshin Impact, we've played Honkai Star Rail, we've played Honkai Impact 3rd, we've played, I've started playing Withering Waves, recently picked that back up, video on that coming soon. I'm not sure if the new Otome game that I started is classed as a live service, but I'm going to put that down as yes, just in case. Zen Zone Zero, we've also tried that. Let me think, what other games have we played? We tried Where Winds Meet. I've played like War Thunder. No, not War Thunder, like Warhammer, I think it was in the past. Like, I can't remember, that was a very long time ago, but it's still running, so I class it. League of Legends, I played League, so that's 9. Overwatch, quite a good number, shall we say.
That was part 1. And 2, what did you expect to happen? What is, in your mind, the solution right now?
Okay, right. That's actually a really good question. So I've just answered part 1 being about approximately 10 live action games. So there's probably more that I've not remembered. What in my mind is the right solution right now? I think what would be the right solution for Infold right about now would be to make a public apology once everything is all ready with regards to CN involvement, etc. Like, when I say CN, I mean the government. Make a public apology accepting that there are certain things that they need to do better as a company, such as things like lighting for the darker skinned MCs, lack of communication. Maybe they can offer us some sort of solution, even if it's a case where, say, for example, they post a schedule with the icons of the certain characters like the leaks do and say this is going to be what the schedule is approximately going to look like. Maybe they can also just give the disclaimer that is subject to change based on, like, you know, the development process. They could also basically just take accountability that, you know, they've upset the players deeply and that they're going to work towards rebuilding the trust of players and reinstate Valko. That would be, I personally think, it wouldn't fix the situation, but it would at least put Infold in a bit of a better spot with the community. And I guarantee you that if Infold were to drop Valko now, they would immediately begin making a lot of the revenue that they've lost over the last month, because so many people were saving for Valko, and a lot of people would be probably willing to splash money on him. But I wonder what Nikki would say from a development perspective.
And I'm coming at it from a game development perspective. Now, it is August 4th as we are recording this, meaning...
Oh my god, August 4th is my birthday! Ah!
It's revenue time.
Oh god.
And I'm going to talk about that after I kind of do this sort of live service games 101. Just because it's pretty crazy to me, that reaction of Caleb's the scapegoat. Oh my god, they should have just given us Valko. They should have done XYZ. And it's very much they can't. Because I think we do forget that Love and Deepspace is a live service game. And what that means is that it is a permanently living, breathing game. There is technically no fixed end. Live service games are eternal until their heart stops. And usually their heart stops because of lack of revenue, lack of development resources, something like that. And I say it is eternal and forever because they can keep adding stuff. Sire mentioned this, and I've mentioned this as well. The fact that Love and Deepspace has a multi-timeline, various planets, blah, 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 blah bullshit. It is so smart in a live service world.
Agreed. Like, Tomorrow's Catch 22 was a very good example of this. I keep going back to this particular banner because I think that was a big turning point for the game. But it was a completely different alternate reality where the love interests were predators. And you know what? In all seriousness, I've said this multiple times. I love the fact that Info do go down the route of looking at other alternative worlds, because it also does mean we have a lot more that is unexpected with regards to things like the myths. Like, for example, we had a completely different world with Raphael's last myth, the Merman one. Then with Ramiro, obviously Silas. First off, he's just normal everyday Silas with Conqueror. Then we had Dragon Silas, and then we had Archfiend Silas. Caleb, first one we had was like the cyborg, and then we had the Neverlord, and you know the list goes on. And this is one thing I've always said: Infold storytelling is phenomenal, and this is why I was more upset when they announced the Caleb card. I understand from a business perspective that they can't just stop everything, because if the revenue stops, they can't make money, which means they can't afford to pay their staff, which is going to lead to layoffs because the company would be moving at a loss. And then once the game starts moving at a loss, the smart thing from a business perspective would be to stop the product entirely, and that would lead to end of service announcement for Love and Deepspace. Now, do I think that Love and Deepspace is going to be still operating 20 years in the future? No. But do I think that Love and Deepspace does have the potential to run for at least another 5 years or into 2030? Yes. And I think the reason that they're running this Caleb card now is because the way Infold were probably looking at it, is, let's just pretend they do want to put Valko into the game for a minute. They go, right, okay, we're not in a position to release Valko right now. We've got no banners running. We need to do something to start getting ourselves some money. So, who is currently got the least amount of content? Caleb. We have a card ready for him. The fans want Caleb content. Let's just give them a Caleb banner and see how they react. And now that we've blown up, kind of being like, okay, Caleb card, cool and all, but where the fuck is Valko? They can then take that to, you know, the higher-ups. Because I do think it's the higher-ups who made the decision to stop Valko so abruptly. And just say, look, we've tried posting a new banner for Caleb. We've given them what they want. They don't want him right now. They want Valko back. And that would be something that then can go up the chain. Now, that's one of the reasons why Nikki was saying in her last video that giving them constructive criticism, being like, oh, I used to spend X amount in the game a month, but now I'm not going to be doing this anymore until you reinstate Valko, or because you've cancelled Valko, I'm going to uninstall the game and not play it anymore, and I was paying or spending X amount on your game every month or every week. That is data that they can take to the higher up. And at the moment, as long as we're doing it in a smart way and a respectful way, because, you know, the customer service Gerties, it's hard working in customer service, okay? I work in customer service. I've worked in call center or customer service backgrounds for over 10 years now. At my age of 27, I started work when I was 17. We get so much shit unnecessarily, and honestly, just a little bit of understanding and kindness does go a long way.
And when I talk about a live service games, like common ones you might be thinking of, like anything like a MOBA, like League of Legends, Dota 2, Valorant, the finals.
Valorant and the finals are two I missed.
Any of that shit.
Yeah.
Because all they have to do is we can just keep adding characters. We could just keep adding maps.
You can
the
just keep
difference
adding
is
weapons.
the simplicity. And when I say simplicity, you have to take that with a grain of salt. Because like for example, League of Legends is generally the same map with the same-ish roles, and you add a character, and that move set changes sort of what we call the meta of the game.
Agreed. As somebody who used to play League of Legends, I was a support main for nearly 4 years. I was a Morgana and Leona main. League is not an easy game, and when new characters keep coming into the fray and the meta's changing all the time, you could be an absolute annihilator at a character like Pike, and then suddenly a new character comes out that completely negates his kit, and he could become very bad in certain situations, or vice versa. For example, I remember back when I used to play a lot of League, there was a Rengar, Maokai, or was it? No, it was Ivern. So it was Ivern and Rengar bot lane, which me and my ex-boyfriend used to play. I'd just make a shit ton of bushes for him, and he would just keep bouncing in and out of the bushes, and the ADCs just wouldn't have a chance. But then I think they brought another character out, can't remember the name of the character now, and suddenly that one became absolutely pointless, and we had to change tactics. Like, I had to learn how to play Braum, and I didn't particularly enjoy it because I found him quite boring, but he liked me playing him because he always got kills when I played Braum. But the point stands, even though I don't play League very much anymore, though I have been tempted to at least look at the game again and see, because I do still keep up with like the LEC and Worlds and that sort of stuff, because I still enjoy watching the game. It's just the toxicity and how many characters that goes a bit, It's now a situation for me personally where the game feels very overwhelming because you don't know where to start, and I think that is what leads to a lot of people leaving live service games. Plus the fact, you know, I'm not expecting people to start a game and then stick with it for the rest of their lives. People move on. But I think the thing, for example, me, when Overwatch started first, like, really coming out, I played a shit ton of Overwatch, left it after about a year. Tried again when Overwatch 2 was announced. So I was like, this is the same fucking thing, pretty much, just different UI. Left that. I haven't touched Overwatch since. But then you've got other games where I know some people who've played the same game for 10 plus years and they're really good at the game. Like, it's all down to personal preference, really. And obviously, me being a content creator, I do get exposed to a lot of new games quite regularly, which is actually one of the best bits about being a content creator, because you get perspectives from a lot of different people all around the world and you can connect with people. And Love and Deepspace is definitely one of those games that, in its core, it looks simple, but it's got potential to go for a really long time if they can get over this situation and not have a repeat incident.
but it's in permanent operation. It runs
Uh-huh.
24/7 forever, and the content behind it, the content pipeline behind it never stops. There's no finished state. It doesn't say like in the game industry back when discs were a
Oh,
thing.
I miss the discs. And yes, Sony will move forward with its plans to stop making PS5 discs despite Backlash. Yeah, that's fucking bullshit. They just want to make it so they can take the games that you pay away from you, which is so fucking rubbish.
Sony.
I think companies like CEX are going to make a lot of bank from this, though. Genuinely.
Fuck you, Sony.
Where please still sponsor us if you want to. But
We have mortgages.
we have mortgages. Anyway.
Someone buy me a
But,
mortgage.
like, there used to be a big announcement in a party that a game went gold. And what that means is the official disc, the master disc that was going to be copied for every other title was printed. It was done. And now the game was in production. There was no more changes.
Yeah.
And then like everyone gets mad. There's a day one patch. And it's like, yeah, back in the day they didn't have day one patches. And we've discussed a lot of that in the Final Fantasy games. But that's technically no finished state. So the team isn't reacting in real time because honestly they're executing a schedule that we might not see but exists. And so there's a bunch of internal teams and a crap ton of external vendors. And I kind of want to talk through a little bit about this.
Please do.
And so the question that I have is like, what did you expect to happen in a month?
Personally, I wasn't expecting anything to happen. I was expecting info to maybe break the silence with regards to like what banners are going to run and things like that. Honestly, they've kind of gone exactly how I predicted they were going to go, like, or at least how I thought it was going to be. I was kind of scared making the prediction because I was like, I don't want to risk upsetting anybody. But it is literally a situation where personally I do feel like the longer this goes on, the worse it's going to get for Infold. But they have the reasons for doing what they're doing, basically.
Because the game is having to rework a live service calendar that is most likely been in production from 9 to 12 months. At least that's what we've seen from the Nikki side. And I'm going to talk about, not me, but like the Infinity Nikki side.
Yeah.
Check out my live stream. Like, even though we're recording this on a Tuesday, the stream's happening on Wednesday. I am talking about it. But in general, there was a really cool, I'm going to say it's cool. There was a 2023 game development report from Griffin Gaming Partners and a bunch of other people. They surveyed over 500 studios worldwide. 95% of them were developing or maintaining a live service title. So from initial build to launch, a traditional game, so we're talking not live service, is like 2 to 3 years on a good scale.
Right.
Live service games take about 5 years from full initial production period through launch.
So this is another reason why I think the whole, like, you know, Infold versus the company behind Silent Whispers is a bit of a question mark for me, because it's like, okay, there's been people who have made direct, they've made direct comparisons between Alric and Silas. So Silas being from Love and Deepspace and Alric being from the Silent Whispers. In the nicest way possible, companies know that very attractive men with white hair are going to sell well, because they make these characters, or they design these characters for us to fall in love with them. And they have to grab our attention initially. And this is why I personally think that there's especially in live service games, there's a lot of women characters more so than men characters. Now, this is not me trying to be sexist, but generally speaking, there is a lot more that a studio can customize with regards to the anatomy of the character. So for women, for example, you've got multiple things that you can enhance or change to make them look different from other characters, but to also cater to a certain type. For example, let's just use my husband, for example. Well, I'm his ideal type. This is how he explains me to other people, right? If I were to go lost and the prick needed to come up with a description for me, he'd say black hair, tatted, chubby, huge tits, bubble butt, short stack. Black hair. That's what he would describe me as. So, you know, I'm not afraid to admit I'm on the bigger side. I do have a decent sized chest, but that's not, I might not be someone else's type. Someone else might be more into the sporty type. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone's got their own preferences. But women traditionally have a lot more that they can customize, which makes them easier to customize to fall in love with them. Now with men, they haven't quite got as much to customize. So common traits like six packs, sculpted jawlines, really good hair, striking eyes, those sort of hands, those sorts of features get emphasized more for the male characters because the development companies know those are the features to work on. And that's why I think Love and Deepspace has done such an amazing job with character design, because all 5 love interests are all attractive, but they all look very different. Does that make sense?
And then they have the ongoing cadence of live ops, which means
Live
the banners,
operations.
the updates. Those can be weekly, those can be bi-weekly, they can be monthly, and then actual content updates, which are usually bi-weekly to monthly.
Yeah.
So this ideal fast cadence doesn't really work in multi-year pipelines. For example, Infold, and the reason I'm bringing up Nikki is because it is the closest thing that we kind of have from Infold that we can actually look at. Is we know that Infinity Nikki runs on like 9 to 12 month cycles. That's pretty consistent with a bi-weekly to monthly release.
Makes sense.
Being that lighter layer of live ops, not major character story production, all that good stuff. When we talk about what's happening within live ops, we're talking about the live services production chain. It's slow by design, not by neglect. At least it should be.
And the development process, especially for cards like Love and Deepspace, where they got to do like the tracking, they got to do the voice lines, they got to do the coding, they got to make sure they get, potentially they bring in some new animations. I'm moving my foot because my foot's like really, really cramped. You know, all of this sort of thing takes a long time. Then let's not forget, once they've done it, they got to put it through quality control to make sure it's not glitched. And then they have other people watch them, usually higher ups or quality control, to make sure that they're happy with the card. Before then, it goes to making the trailers for it and then releasing them on YouTube and then dropping them into a live game. There's a long-winded process that a lot of people don't think about.
Because
I've been rambling for 45 minutes and we're only 19 minutes in.
put that out there for a second. Because when you think about it, so we get this Caleb card that just gets announced. It's going to be running, I think, this week or next week. That probably has been in production for at least 9 months. Because one, they have to design the card, they have to do the narrative, they have to do the programming, then they have to record it with the VOs and their contracts, plus do the multi-language on the talent schedule in available studios globally. Then they have to work on what we call the packaging. So the animation, the UI integration, hence they're constantly reusing that plushie game. It's something that they can easily turn around, but you still need to actually re-record the voice lines and input it and program it and QA it. There's internal QA. There's third-party platform negotiation. So we're talking about Apple and Google in this situation. And other times you have to work with the console certifications, which are yay. And then, of course, there's localization, QA, bug fixes across every region, marketing, and launch coordination. So every step that I just talked about, it touches not only multiple inside companies, it touches multiple outside companies. And I don't just mean like the voice actors. One of the fastest growing service categories in games is what's called, and you're gonna love this, it's called gaming outsourcing services. You don't realize that the majority of the teams that are working on your games, and by the way, a great tip for anyone who wants to break into the game industry, game outsourcing services companies are the people who are doing like a lot of the grunt work on the line. Like they're the companies that do a lot of the localization work. They're the companies that do a lot of the QA. They might be doing the NPC voiceovers that, you know, they hire the 4 voices that are going to record, because usually a recording minimum is 4 hours. So while Silas is in the booth doing all his lines for 4 hours, they're recording Luke and Kieran and everyone else on the side at the same time to simultaneously get it out. And so one of the reasons I want to talk about this is because like 72% of AAA publishers and 58% of mid-sized studios use at least one QA partner, outsourced, not internal, in addition to their own internal teams. This market is so huge. It was $9 billion in 2025. It's projected to be $25 billion by 2035, with a CAGR of up to 17%. And before you ask, CAGR is the compound annual growth rate of a business. Got you.
She knew. Honestly, like, it's really impressive how much work goes into developing a game. Now, for a game like, for example, Baldur's Gate 3, I'd be interested to know how long that took, because there are so many voice lines and different routes and, you know, different situations and so many different NPCs. I can only imagine how much money Larian used to develop that game.
And, like, this is where some of the cost comes into the game development. Localization and QA specifically are like about 19 to 20% of that growth.
Wow.
So basically, Infold being a Chinese-based company, they are not native English speakers. We talked about this today on the Xavier myth. There were several kind of mistranslations and grammar errors and things like that. Additionally, I talked about how the English voice cast that they had, they didn't necessarily like cast for local accent for the English side as well. So they were like brute forcing internally, probably used a couple of local studio outsourced partners versus using some of the bigger ones. And so when we're talking about the development waterfall, essentially somebody comes up with a card idea, it gets approved, and then it kicks off this entire production. Essentially, when Infold came out and said, well, shit, we're not going to release Valko, we all got a buggy game. Like, let us not deny that.
Yeah.
And
Oh god, yeah. The bugs were bugging.
and on top of it, it is still pretty fucking buggy.
Yeah.
So the first thing that they did is shifted probably their entire engineering and QA group. I don't know if this is true, by the way, my caveat. This is just from internal experience. They shifted their team essentially to start trying to work and fix it. The QA process can take 500 to 1,000 people in a building.
Hot damn.
Just because you need to have that many people building and playing beta builds. Their job is to break it. Do the craziest shit. And on the most nuts machines.
Their job is literally to try and break the game to make sure that the game is not going to be very breakable for us when we get our hands on it. Right, I am running out of tea, so I'm going to take a short break, and then I will be right back. Okay, I'm back with Pepsi. Let's go.
I worked at a gaming outsource company. We had 400 devices and platforms we could test a game on. And you know, the majority of those were like, there was literally an iPhone somewhere locked in a box that had tape on it that said never update.
Oh my god.
Because there was no way we could ever revert it back. But there was enough people in the gaming world still playing games on that device, on that iOS build, that like game companies asked for it. Okay. So like lockbox iPhone. It's crazy. And so
at least we know they're being efficient.
Knowing that there's going to be this QA and engineering cycle nonstop, they're going to pull in additional support. It's going to cost them more. It's going to take more time. They have to do all of that. And then on the other side, you have the other like product manager. Fucking Kyle, poor Kyle, is sitting there, and Kyle is trying to work on, okay, now how the hell are we going to do this? Like, how are we going to fix this? And I've seen the question, and I have been asked, do you think they can bring Valko back? Yeah. I will continue to say, absolutely. They have the assets. He was built. They have the programming. The question becomes if, when, and how. Yeah. Because the how part, I'm not thinking from a storyline. I'm thinking more from a, oh crap, how are we going to rebuild this game? Because they broke their own build to, quote, pull him out. They didn't pull him out. They just covered him up. Because they didn't want to go through Apple and Google cert again. Because, as you saw by that Raphael leak, you have to submit your builds and the marketing so far in advance. And what I think happened on that Raphael leak in the Google store, if you're wondering what that is, essentially the Google store popped up and said, this coming update includes, and they named the Raph's myth, what cards were, all that. Essentially... and there's screenshots. You can join our Discord. We found it, verified it. It was not on iOS. And what I think happened is this was not a Infold accidentally submitted. No, Infold had this pre-submitted a long ass time ago. They were on schedule until the Valko situation. Agreed. And when they had to pull it, they basically had to break their build. They went back to Apple and Google and said, we're going to need to pull this off the line. This cannot go out. And Apple took care of it. And I think Google dropped the ball. I can't confirm it, but that have I had that personally happen as the person who has submitted? Yes.
But that's
all the
vibe
time.
you're
And then you're like, that's the vibe I'm getting of just Stacy screaming into her hands as she cries about what the fuck God hates her. It's exactly Stacy's losing it, guys.
Poor
So,
Stacy.
This is just like a comedy of errors at this point for them. I'm pretty sure this Caleb release is right on schedule. I think we were gonna get this at this time. We were gonna get it no matter what.
And I mean, the last solo card that we had that was around was the Indulgent Scheme card, correct? So in theory, that would make sense with the timeline.
If not, did they pull it up? I'm pretty sure, and this is usually just a safety structure in game development. God, I hope. You usually have, like, your next 2 launches in live services, like, pretty good to go. So we can tell that they had the Raphael pretty good to go, and this Caleb good to go. Probably with some tweaking based on some bug fixes and things. And so they were like, fuck it, ship it. And it's not that they're expecting us to go back to normal. The game is a live service game. It is going to continue to publish content and make money because that's just it is what it is. It has to. That is the business of this game. People need to get paid. People need to get paid. And hopefully, like, they have the development team for Valko still working or doing whatever. Yeah. One of the things I wanted to talk about, and like I said, talking about this and plugging my new series of Nikki Plays Nikki, taking you through what the fuck happened with Infinity Nikki 1.5 and how Infold maybe has a pattern. And weirdly enough, I know this is really odd for me, guys. I'm here to actually give you some hope. Oh my God.
Really?
Yeah.
As you
Please do. Please do. The community needs some hope right now.
Of development hell with your
shut up. Yes. There's a hopeful outcome. There's a reason. Okay. I don't know if you guys have followed that Nikki launch.
I do not remember the full extent of it, but I do remember I think something came out and it like really backfired, and a lot of people were saying that it was just really disappointing from Infold. A lot of people started like doing something similar, not quite to this scale, I don't think. Compared to what happened to Valko here, but I do remember hearing something about this. I wasn't playing Infinity Nikki back then, so I wasn't sure. I didn't actually know until I couldn't remember that Infinity Nikki was actually also being run by Infold, so I didn't put the link together. But it would be nice to have a recap.
It's going to be kind of a condensed version. But so Nikki and Lads, same publisher, different timelines. The difference between Infinity Nikki and Lads is that Nikki actually came out on PS5 and PC. Right. So it just rakes in a bit more cash. It launched in the December of 2024. It made $16 million in its first month, with 63% of that, 60-ish%, I'm kind of rounding, some of the numbers are old, in China. In April of 2025, they launched version 1.5, and I'm going to talk more about this on the stream, and it was a disaster. Mama will remember me being like, what the fuck? And this is the reason I play Love and Deepspace now, is because I literally could not play Infinity Nikki. I could not log in. The patch was like fucking disaster.
Oh, really?
It was crashing. There were login issues. There was a retconning. Like, you want to talk about fucked up storylines. Let's talk about Infinity Nikki, but that's a different podcast.
Oh, they absolutely broke, because I remember getting stuck so many times, and I like, because I was playing, you and I would play together for a while.
Yep. And we did. It was literally non-playable. It was absolutely, some people couldn't log in. And this is the, they learned from a community messaging standpoint, people who had spent money, because there's like a battle pass in Nikki. It's kind of similar to getting the Aurum pass. It's more expensive. You get more stuff, but you must log in daily and do things. There's no retroing, stuff like that.
And obviously, if they couldn't log in because of login issues, I see.
Basically, the customer service team was like, "It sucks to be you. Just log in on a different platform that works." Was the responses? It was bad across the board. It wasn't until 3 weeks in did they make their first statement. 3 weeks of fucking silence. And so that's why the PR crisis thing, they have absolutely learned they've gotten better, guys. Okay, like they're trying,
have.
but
There
they're not
has been
doing great.
improvement.
At least they're
There has been
trying.
which is sad,
Baby
but
steps.
like, yeah, it's baby steps. And I just want to be very clear. I'm not trying to defend Infold in any way, shape, or form. Just from a marketing professional standpoint, holy fucking God, hire me. I can fix this.
There you go. That's the answer. Infold, hire Nikki T. Mama Void can come along as well for the joyride and for the emotional support. Nikki brings back Valko. Bada bing, bada boom, Bob's your uncle.
I'm sure their marketing team can. I'm pretty sure it's a leadership issue. I talked about this in the Discord as well. But anyway, so they didn't give the first message until the first public apology about 3 weeks later. They delayed their next patch.
Right.
So 1.5 was busted. 1.6 was a patch. They were hot fixing every couple of hours and it was still broken.
Oh,
They
God.
shipped version 1.6 6 weeks later. And that was the technical bug fix milestone. And that actually after 6 weeks was when they gave the daily compensation for people who couldn't log in, which was bullshit. And
God.
then it was about actually just over 3 months later that the team actually revealed the next three. They revealed 1.8, 1.9, and 2.0. And ironically, 1.9 was the home feature set. And as you can probably tell, there are very many shared development cycles between Nikki and Lads. It
Right.
took them 6 weeks. 3 weeks to say something, 6 weeks to get the game just functional where you could log in. And then content pipeline visibility, it took them over 3 months to actually be like, okay, so we're doing stuff. And
I think this is kind of where Infold has got a little bit of a problem. Okay, now as somebody who also plays Hoyoverse games, again, this is not me comparing Hoyoverse to Infold, so please do not attack me. But from personal experience, I feel like with Hoyoverse, I have a bit of a better idea of what I'm going into because every single time there's a patch, they do an update. Now, the update are like they do a live stream. The live streams are every like patch. So, for example, 6.0, 1. Or 6.1, 6.2, etc. So I think the communication overall with Hoyoverse is better because they don't post updates anywhere near as regularly. And unlike Infold, Hoyoverse do not have the whole FOMO, so the fear of missing out. So, for example, when I used to play a lot of Honkai Star Rail and Genshin, I'd always keep an eye out for drip marketing. Infold don't do anything like that. And this is actually my question to you guys. Would you prefer it if we had a situation where maybe Infold did a live stream, maybe once every quarter, so every 3 months, kind of just saying or giving little sneak peeks as to what was coming up? Or would you rather they do something similar to Hoyoverse where they do a drip market, even if it is something like, you know, the thumbnail for the trailers and things like that? Because I think that could potentially be a better way of communicating. It also means that players could get a bit of a better idea of where to save up currency. So like if you know a solo is coming out in approximately 2 months, so you can kind of put aside resources for it. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
it's like that's great. That's great, guys. And the reasons I bring it up is it's because one, they're doing a little better.
Mm-hmm.
2, the content is already in the pipeline. They're working on it. They're probably rejiggering stuff. And one of the differences between Nikki, which is technically a Cozy World open game, and Lads is like, I'm thinking from the battle balance.
Mm-hmm.
So this Caleb card that's coming out is one of 2 yellows that he has.
Oh god.
And because the cards are tied to battles and Stella and orbits and things, they have to do a little bit more balancing. So for example, if that Caleb card was originally a pink, who knows? And they're like, oh shit, let's make it a yellow. They have to rebalance all the boys.
Yeah.
So you have to think about live service development as a cascade of dominoes. Once you tip one, it's going to affect everything downward. And then someone has to come back in and start rebuilding the dominoes, including the content, the timeline, the contracts. I don't know if this is happening. I don't want to freak anyone out. But my thought is, holy shit, the voice actors.
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
core 5 VA. Because if any of them goes, I can't make it to re-record. You are in breach of contract, Infold, blah, 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 blah. They're fucked. They're super, like, the voice actors are fucked because now it's like fucking their timeline. Most of their recording work, I will tell you, anything that you see in the next 6 months was recorded 6 months ago. Like, that is done. Like, they have done that work. They've done it. They're paid. It's closed out. Anything going forward, if I was one of those VAs, I'd be fucking renegotiating right the fuck now.
That's the other thing. Like, Valko's voice actor, okay? Now, obviously, I've only heard Valko's voice in English, so we're going to go off the English voice actor. He made all of those, like, we heard his voice in the trailer. We heard him in the reveal trailer. God knows what else he has recorded since then. So it would only make sense that, if Infold would not fully cancel the contract, they might have potentially gone to him and just say, look, because of this situation, we've had to say that he's going to be cancelled, but we are going to try and bring him back. Because that's the thing, Infold are going to lose a shit ton of money because they've done the development for him, they've built the model, they've coded and done the animations, and let's not forget all of the cards that we were supposed to get, plus a free 5-star card that we were going to get, which I'm still fucking pissed, because fuck the antis. And honestly, I would not be surprised if when the next banner comes out, they're going to try and make some sort of situation where they're going to be like, oh, we're going to slam down every pro supporter of Valko, and we're going to make it so they look bad, and we're going to take them out of context, because they're still doing everything they can to keep Valko out of the game, which at this point, go touch some grass, please. But it's such a bad situation, and I just really hope that Info can recover from it.
That would be me. But if they're like, oh, we had you in the studio already for something that's launching in January 2027, or we think is launching in 27, or the first quarter of 27, honestly. They're probably developing for Q2 of 2027 at this point.
Yeah.
They were probably like, shit, we got to re-record, we got to update the adjustment. They're gonna, like, just that cascade of the voice acting element, because the VAs are so core to this game.
100%.
That's one of my, like, as a fan, part of it, like, oh no, Zany Pingu,
Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill, yeah, oh no, there's that aspect of it. What I'm trying to tell you is, I'm hoping that it is not attributed to malice and just stupidity.
Yeah.
That they've kind of learned, but not enough. And this is the part that I want to just kind of, like, give a little hope to. Plus, give a few tips. Because there's something else that I think Infold, and actually, and I'm going to bring this back to my discussion of what you can do as a consumer. And then I'm looking at you, PlayStation and Xbox and all this other shit that's happening in the games industry. Like, how you can still, my Valkyries, which I love that name, how you can still carry on the fight by A, protecting yourself, and B, not falling into the trap that I swear to God Infold is praying we all fall into right now.
Well, so many companies pray that we do. But
that so many companies are going to fall.
now.
Yeah.
I want to be real clear. The message has been sent to Infold. Infold knows how the community feels. That part is done.
Yeah.
And this is the part where I wanted to talk a little bit about the revenue numbers, which is pretty wild. Like, during the Infinity Nikki thing, by the way, Infold blocked the term boycott. They'd made a lot of mistakes, guys, a ton of mistakes.
Oh, God, they did.
They did. And, like, you couldn't say boycott. You couldn't say I'm not doing this, that, and everything else. So that's what started the Infinity Nikki girl cot.
Love it.
That's where that came from. So they're like used to this. They went and did a terrible job on the Nikki part.
Right.
But shout out to boycotters from the tanking the revenue. And this is month over month. And I'm talking from June to July. I will pull up the numbers from May as well. But Lads dropped 15 spots from number 1 and gave Hoyoverse its triple crown, I think, for the first time ever.
Woohoo!
Yes.
For Hoyoverse, not
for
the falling.
Hoyoverse. In July, it is estimated that, oh my God, Lads made $10.3 million. In June, it made $38.3 million. In May, it made $48.9 million. That is a hell of a downward trend.
It's almost like you take our wolf boyfriend away from us and we go, ha ha, no, we ain't spending.
That is the worst month for Love in Deepspace.
Uh-huh.
I can guarantee in the past year, I believe
Oh,
in
yeah.
the history of its launch.
We're doing so well.
Yeah.
Message fucking sent.
sent.
Yes.
Good
Received.
job, ladies.
Good job. So, like, the global revenue dropped 51% month over month. The Chinese revenue dropped about 80%. Japanese revenue dropped about 47%. And that's
actually crazy.
Nuts. Well done.
I wish that money would be going into my bank account because I could use that. But honestly, just kind of adding on from what these two said, well fucking done. The fact that we have managed to get them from basically top every single month down to 16th place is actually insane. The message is sent. It keeps the media talking about the boycott, continuing to talk about the situation, and it's proving to each other that we are still sticking together with regards to the girl cult or the boycott, whatever you want to call it. And I am so proud of everybody because I know it is hard not logging into the game, or it's hard not spending. You might have seen this Caleb card and gone, oh, this is like really linked to his lore. I really want to get this card. But the fact that you are using your self-restraint to hold back and not spend, or if you are pulling for the card, you're using the game resources you've already got, that is sending more of a message to info than anything else will, because money unfortunately talks numbers, and the stats don't lie. And honestly, you guys have done amazing, and especially in our Discord server, you know, we talk about the Valko situation quite a lot. The fact that we are still so stuck together and it's been over a month is actually fucking insane, and it does just prove how much we can do as a community if we stick together.
And the downloads, what is surprising is the Korean downloads actually went up.
Oh, lovely.
But global has stayed static. Japan went down and China went down 28%. So it has absolutely affected them in their app stores, and it has affected them in revenue. So that, like, the message has been sent verbally and via revenue, and y'all should fucking pat yourselves on the back. Well done. The next thing I want to talk about is, oh my God, the walls of hashtags. So there's been a lot of discussion, and I'm going to talk about it too, just kind of from we're a small content creator team. But
this is hard, okay? Because the hashtags, when I first made the disclaimer that I'm putting in front of the Love and Deepspace videos at the moment, it's very hard to know what hashtags to use. Because first it was bring Valko back or bring back Valko. Then it moved on to Valko is loved. And there's just been so many like variations of the hashtags because apparently the antis were twisting it and using it in a negative way. And it gets to a point where I am seeing multiple different people using multiple different hashtags, and it is very difficult to know which ones to use sometimes. And I would like to see Nikki's input on this.
But like, we see it on our messages, we see it on other people's, we see it in the Reddit, we see all this other stuff. Message fatigue is a thing.
Yeah.
And you need to be very aware of it. And I want to give you 2 tips as a marketing person.
Please do.
And, you know, this goes out to anyone who's running a boycott or a protest or anything. Hashtag walls don't get suppressed. They get weaponized.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I want to talk about, is a block of repeated hashtags with no real comment or content attached to it gets algorithmically deprioritized by the algorithm.
Lovely.
I'm going to talk about, when I say the algorithm, think YouTube, Instagram,
TikTok,
Twitter, all that. In reality, over 2 hashtags doesn't really do you any good. The max number of hashtags on any post or comment on Instagram statistically is 5. Max 5. So that's first, if you want a good outcome. Mm-hmm. Secondly, when you go into a video, and I'm taking this outside of Infold, but use this against them as well, and I'll explain what I mean by use this against them.
Take it to the man.
Take it to the man. Is when you, like, for example, this video is going to be fine, but like, Mama's video of Xavier that came out today, if you suddenly go back and put a whole wall of bring back Valko hashtags, what ends up happening is, one, the comment is deemed irrelevant and deprioritized by YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the next thing that happens is because the content of the video, so this is called signaling. And this is A, what AI companies use, and B, what algorithms use. The YouTube algorithm is reading the video content that comes out, and lots of companies do, and that's why they can say this is about Love and Deepspace, this is a podcast, this is about Xavier, this is about XYZ. And they can put in tons of signals.
Mm-hmm.
If suddenly you have a bunch of comments that don't match the proper signals, it then also deprioritizes a creator's video.
Yeah.
And while that sucks for us as the creator, what really sucks is that means the creator has to go and delete your comment, which is the worst thing that can happen to you, because now you have no message. And the reason they have to delete it is because you have just messed up their algorithm. And it's like the worst thing that they can do.
And that's one of the reasons why I've not been posting so much like Love and Deepspace content that's not linked to Valko recently, because if I post a video and then it's not about Valko and you lot just start spamming the comments with like bring back Valko and things like that, on videos like this one, because we're talking about like Infold and Valko kind of more directly, it makes more sense. But like, say for example, let me think, let's just say for instance I post Raphael's Lingering Lust event playthrough, right? And you guys just start spamming it about Valko. Those two do not match. It's the same game, but they don't match. So I can either leave your comment be and let your comment do its comment thing, but it affects me as a content creator. And this is one of the reasons why I've also been trying to post other content as well recently that's not linked to Love and Deepspace, just so that way, you know, we're kind of taking a break from the drama, but also the fact that you know, I'm not just seen as just a lads creator, because I promise I do a lot more than that.
A good trick, and this is my trick for Infold as well, you could look at whatever this fucking timestamp is and be like, Nikki makes a great or shitty point about the Valko boycott at this thing, or shut up, Nikki, or hey, good job, buddy.
Woo!
I did read all your comments. And then add your two hashtags. And then you've just gotten free content out of me. Clip
Woo!
it, use it, share it, do whatever you need to do with it. Pop it. So you've gotten free content, and B, you have gotten a post that now does not go down, does not get deprioritized by the algorithm, cannot be deprioritized by the content creator as well, because it's, quote, relevant. That is, you can stretch that term. And so, like, for example, the new Caleb video that came out, if you were to go up to the YouTube video and be like, hey, so instead of releasing Valko, you've decided to do a Caleb update. Can you explain why? Hashtag bring back Valko. That doesn't get deprioritized. They can't. You made a legitimate comment. And if they start dinging your comments, well, then you can ding them in other ways. Ha, 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 ha. So keep that in mind. And one of the other things I wanted to talk about is message fatigue. This was something we talked about actually in the Discord server. A lot of our Discord members have said it, is that they're like, I'm just kind of tired of it. And this is exactly the thing Infold wants right now. We are at a critical stage where Infold, any corporation, by the way, not just Infold, at the 4 to 6 week mark is usually when, and when I say usually, it has actually been defined as the boomerang effect, is what it's called.
Okay.
At the 4 to 6 week mark, the community starts to eat itself. It becomes an Ouroboros. This isn't people get bored. It's that repeated exposure to the same message measurably increases resistance.
Yeah.
It just does. People get more likely to push back, specifically because they feel talked at, that you're talking at them, not helping, not doing anything, not less. And that is what the boomerang effect is. It's a persuasion attempt that produces the opposite of its intended reaction, because the audience feels their freedom to decide for themselves is being threatened. And you're giving away the autonomy to enjoy content, or that I have to do this or do that. This has been documented since 1966.
Oh, wow.
This is something that happens all the time. It is something that marketers rely on. This is
I've actually never heard of this. This is actually really interesting.
why we're constantly optimizing and changing things. So it's the same mechanism as review bombing, but like gone wrong. Platforms and audiences start to filter out obvious repetition and noise.
Right.
And while it is one thing to have like repeated hashtags, that's okay. Like, use a hashtag. That's how you unite people. But the message and the content has to be different, or people are just going to tune your ass out.
Yeah.
So instead of creating allies or people who might be on the fence, like, gentle reminder, know your audience. People who do not care about this are never going to care about it. Do not convert them. Do not talk to them. Do not waste your time. Like, don't. Just fucking let it go. Elsa that shit.
Yeah.
But the people who are kind of on the fence that have the potential to be your ally, or at least like give a thumbs up to a comment, you absolutely do not want to alienate them.
And this is another thing, like on Twitter in particular, I've been seeing a lot of people still posting about Valko. But the thing that's nice about my Twitter, at least, is I'm getting different images, different messages. Obviously, the hashtags are normally the same. But, you know, one of them I saw this morning was one of them talking about how Valko is a huge dork because, you know, he was on the swings, and then you had the scene where you put the headphones on his wolf ears, and then they fall onto his nose. And then the next one was then talking about the fact that how Valko takes you out hiking and, like, you know, in the woods, and you could see, like, you could hear MC's laugh in the trailer saying that, oh, the aunties took this away from us, he took us out on a little, you know, stargazing trip, it was really romantic. Like, everything I've seen is different, but there was I want to say, a good solid week where I was just seeing just people spamming hashtags, and I will admit I started filtering them out after a while. Not like, you know, directly going into settings and filtering them, but I was just kind of like, you know, just looking away from it.
Message fatigue backfiring has been happening for a long time. The most recent meta-analysis that I could find was from 2024 in communication research. It found that this repeated and fatiguing messaging is linked to unintended outcomes.
I'm going to read this real quick. So, message fatigue is a state in which people believe they have received too many similar messages conveying redundant information and feel a sense of exhaustion and boredom with those messages. A growing body of work suggests message fatigue inhabits persuasion, and a meta-analytic review can help to evaluate the strength and direction of the relationship between message fatigue and persuasive outcomes, explore potential moderators of that relationship, and shed light on productive paths forward. Our results indicated that, on average, increased message fatigue is associated with unintended outcomes such as increased endorsement of message inconsistent beliefs and reduced intention to enact healthy behaviors. Subsequent heterogeneity, I think that's how you pronounce it, was observed and, in general, left unexplained by our coded moderators. We speculate about the drivers of the observed heterogeneity and reflect on paths forward in this area of research.
People become more resistant and less likely to act.
Yeah.
And that is what the company is relying on, is that this just dies. That, like, yeah, sure, great, you have this core group of people, but you're kind of now at the stage where the core group did a really good job. Now we need to kind of hold the line. And holding the line doesn't mean necessarily converting everyone, but it means making sure that they are your allies when you need them most. Okay.
Yeah.
Repetition drives people away. Now,
and that's one of the reasons why I've not been posting just Love and Deepspace content, because I don't want you to get bored of the content and move away. That's why we try to spice things up with Baldur's Gate 3, Withering Waves, which is dropping soon, and another Otome game or two that I've been recording.
Boycotts have a documented life cycle, and companies are fucking betting on it.
Yeah.
Because the pattern is a heat up phase driven by outrage, right?
Woo!
That was the month.
We did
That's
it.
what's happening now. It's also gonna probably, every time a new card drops, and I'm gonna say it again, I don't think Caleb got scapegoated. I think whoever was gonna drop next got it. It sucks. I'm sorry, it's Caleb buddies. I'm sorry, my Apple girlies. But then there's a cool down phase that, you know, that outrage just naturally fades over the weeks. And again, I'm not talking about people on one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum. The people who are always hottest, as we call them, are the people who are going to continue to do this. They're going to continue to be loud. But what the company is working and betting on is that of that 100 people, the 20, it's like whales, guys. 90% of people are going to stop caring. 9% are going to kind of hang out. And it's 1% that's actually driving the voice. And that's on both sides. You want to make sure that you can continue to capture within that 9 and 90%. So if what you're posting today looks identical to what you posted in week 1, That's not sustained pressure. That is a visible countdown clock. And the company can read it too.
AKA be original.
So that 4 to 6 week point that we are in right now has a name. It's pretty cool. I mean, not cool, but you know what I mean. Science is cool.
We like science.
It's called the Vanishing Boycott Impetus, or why and how consumer participation in a boycott decreases over time. There's a whole study on it, and I'm just going to sum it up for you. Basically, after you're driven by outrage, the cool down phase where participation drops as the initial anger fades, companies bet on fatigue. It's documented. It is replicated. Make sure that what you are posting, A, is not a repeat of what you have been posting because you're losing allies to this vanishing boycott. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So what's the fix? It's kind of what I talked about. Turn on your marketing brain. Put a real comment or a real question. Again, use this timestamp as an example, whatever.
Plus the fact, it's also quite nice seeing people like asking questions and then reading through the comments and seeing people's answers. I quite like doing that with my videos, like just kind of asking you guys a question and then having you reply to me. It's a nice feeling.
And just put 2 hashtags. You don't have to agree with anyone. You don't have to do any of that. Just fine tune your messaging a little bit.
Okay.
This does 3 things a hashtag wall can't. It reads as real, so it survives moderation. And I'm going to talk about why that is important in one moment.
Okay.
It gives like a creator or infold or whatever something worth responding to, because now if you leave me a comment, I'm going to come back and respond to you about it. It can't respond to a wall of hashtags
or a bunch of emojis or something like that. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll get some individual comments which will just be like a spam of hearts or something like that, and I'll reply back with another heart as well, because I feel bad like leaving your comment unread. But I will admit there are some comments I do get where sometimes I sit there and think, is this sarcasm or is this legit, or okay, this is just a wall of hashtags, or my personal favorite, how do I reply to this, like, sort of thing. It is tricky being a content creator, guys. I sugarcoat it being like, oh, it's all fun and games. It's not, but you know what, it's worth it for you guys.
I mean, I could just be like, yay, hashtag,
yay,
and then it doesn't
hashtag.
go anywhere. So when we can respond with relevance to help support you, we can. And we don't have to delete it, because sadly, we don't want to delete anything, but sometimes we have to. And it then becomes a piece of content you can use for that messaging diversification. So yay, wins all around. Same thing, like I said, works on Infold's channel. Now, when I talked about moderation is extremely important right now. A real example that we had on our channels. So there are bad faith actors that exist, and they're just using controversy as cover. Looking at you, Kiwi Farms and 4chan, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, some people will just engage with controversy because they like to watch the world burn. They don't give a fuck. That's just their jam. They're terrible people. And they have like 0 stake in the fandom or the issue or whatever. So you can spot this pattern pretty easily. Thankfully, I have been a moderator long enough in my life that I know. You get a single generalized comment. They say nothing else. They just are like, hey, what about this? To just incite a chat. It's from a brand new or a dead account, and there's no real history of ever being in this fandom. So full transparency. We have had several of these show up during specifically our lads streams. Primarily on YouTube, not so much on Twitch. Not surprised. YouTube tends to be more of a controversy engine than most other platforms. And so they've shown up in our channels, they've shown up in our live streams, and it's forced us to crank up the moderation. And what does this mean? Crank up the moderation means Nikki now has to go and sit there on high alert, reading more comments. I have to turn on more moderation tools so that our community who's engaging feels safe. And so that puts me as a mod on high alert.
Woo!
So instead of being able to properly engage with a real user, you might have to just wipe content that was actual content. Like, you might be a real person who is a huge fan of lads, who likes content, who is engaging. But if you show up in chat and then suddenly the only thing or the first thing you say is something that has nothing to do with the video or introducing yourself or whatever, I'm going to have to nuke your account. Like, most moderators are going to do that.
Yeah.
Small channels, we tend to read everything. Going onto Reddit or larger channels, they're just going to auto nuke, and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is you are not a bad faith actor. What I'm saying is moderation is so cranked up, it can't tell the difference. So stay recognizably you. Be you in the fandom. Be specific. Be engaged. Be an actual part of your community. And say messages that you believe in, that you're willing to talk about in respectful ways. This makes sure that you don't get put into the bad actor bucket.
And plus the other thing is, you know, I've always said that I appreciate everyone's opinions. There have been some comments I've seen where people are like, oh, well, we're going to get rid of Silas and Caleb because if we can't have Valko, we can't have Silas and Caleb. And I'm like, hold on a minute. No, that's bad.
Because that would be, like, the worst. If it's suddenly, like, you're banned from all this stuff, but you're like, blah, and it's because a moderator is just fucking tired of shitty people. Not saying you are. Mm-hmm. So this is how you continue to make your message land. This is how you continue to send what you want to say upwards and outwards, not only to Infold, but also to other people in the community. And understand, and I just want to say this because it's that whole boundaries discussion that Mama had. Protect yourself too.
Yes.
We had several people who were like, I hate being on X, but I'm there because I need to be there for this. Do you? If it is hurting your mental health,
don't do it.
Then don't do it. Like, protect you. At the end of the day, and Mama had to hear me rant for 2 hours about this the other night, and I'm not going to do it here. This is a video game, and it's supposed to bring you joy. At the point it stops doing that is maybe the point where you have to reconsider when something familiar might not be right for you anymore. And that's okay. I had to leave Nikki for many reasons. And I am finally, like, a year later coming back, and it's kind of actually fun again.
And that's normal. Live service games go on for so long, it is completely normal to take breaks from games. Example for me, I took a really big break from Honkai Star Rail. I'm taking another mini break now, because obviously I'm catching up with content on this channel, plus obviously double upload month and everything like that. But I'm still enjoying Hoyoverse content. I'm still, you know, I've been picking up Genshin again. I've been playing very on and off, which when I do play, it's actually fun watching the story again, because it doesn't feel, you know, like, I don't feel like a huge commitment to it. Every now and then I'm playing through the story of Zenless. Of course, I am still recording these, so that way I can post it on my other channel, where being the Mimby channel. But I'm waiting to get a bulk amount of those videos done first, so that way I can post quite a few in a consecutive order, rather than just posting one episode and then leaving it for another couple of months, which tends to be the case when you're handling multiple live service games. But also the fact that variety is healthy.
And so it brings me joy. I Marie Kondo the shit out of it. I still don't spend any money.
Yeah, same.
So what I'm saying is, don't let science win. Fight back.
Loki just came in and graced me with his presence.
And so take it with a grain of salt. Understand what live service games development cycles are, who the partners they have to consider are internally and externally, and think about how you are landing and how you can repurpose what you're doing to create content to continue to extend your voice. I think I just ranted for like 40, 50 minutes.
You're good, babe. You're good.
It's 50. Okay. Hey, this was the Nikki Says Shit episode.
Woo! The thing is, I actually really do like when Nikki talks her mind, because her having the experience is really insightful. And I do think generally there is a bit of a lack in the behind the scenes content when it comes to like looking at, you know, things like that. And that's one of the reasons I quite liked following League, like League of Legends in particular, because they do show a lot of the back of the scenes. Like recently they announced they were bringing Classic League of Legends back before they did the major revamp to Summoner's Rift like it is now. But I genuinely enjoyed just watching the behind the scenes and watching the creative process and seeing like what Classic was versus what we had to have now. Even though I don't play the game, it makes me appreciate the competitive side so much more. And I do think, and I do wish that is something we saw more of from development companies, is the behind the scenes. Like, for example, Not a Cat Studios, they're the studio that made the Star Cult game. They show quite a lot of the behind the scenes, like how they make the art for the game. And I've genuinely been enjoying just watching it and just relaxing, because like this, as somebody who wishes I could work in the gaming industry full time instead of working in fucking financial services, being insurance, this is the sort of thing I want to do long term. So having this insight is just really fascinating to me.
A little bit.
Sorry, buddy. I
Go-
told you I had notes.
15 minutes.
You had notes, and I was going to sit here and I it's
Did you play all your kitty cards for the week?
just
You're like,
chillaxing.
I should have.
I should have.
Oh,
No,
dear.
it's here's the thing. One of the things we've talked about on this podcast and our channel in general is how we want to help people become informed consumers.
And that's one of the reasons I'm going to continue to react to your videos and post them to my community so I can help you in that mission. And plus, you two hit 1,000 subs yet because you deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
It's something
We need to
that,
get these girlies
to be
monetized.
brutally honest, we've been trained out of being.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trained to stop asking questions, to stop learning about products, to stop thinking through how things get from point A to point B.
That's wrong.
And one of the things that I think is very important, especially in the video game industry right now, is understanding how all of this works. Who's all involved? How do we get here to here? Because when we're sitting here making boycotts and making demands, bring Valko back.
Make more
Okay.
content for Caleb and Silas.
What does that mean? Because it sounds simpler than it is.
Yeah.
And because it sounds simpler than it is, it creates unrealistic expectations, quite frankly, about how fast Info can turn something around or get something done or do X, Y, and Z because we don't understand the other side.
Agreed.
Now, you have the insider perspective. You understand all the different levels, all the different processes, all the different phases live games and regular games go through because you've been a part of the industry.
Yeah.
And I've been a gamer for 35 years, and this is not the first time a live service game has fucked me.
Yeah, like you and I have been around the block in terms of just, I'm a layman gamer, in terms of I understand gaming from the perspective of a gamer, not a developer, not a creator, but as a gamer who has played and participated and enjoyed all these games. We need to take into consideration and be realistic with our asks in terms of, here's what we're looking for. Here's what we want. What's the realistic timeline?
And this is another reason why I said in when I was talking about my stance on Valko and Love and Deepspace, I said the end of 2026. Because even though I've not got any experience in the industry, as I mentioned previously, I did a digital marketing course for about 3 to 6 months. It was a fully online course, so I studied it in my own time, but I was like given the resources for it. And one of the things that it does go into is dealing with like crisis or dealing with feedback and dealing with like, you know, spam comments and things like that. So I only got a slight tip of the iceberg, but it gave me so much more understanding. And then obviously channels like Nikki and Void here, so Love and Chick Space, it really does open the doors to a world that we would not have experience with unless we worked in the industry. And that's why this is so important.
We joked at the beginning of this episode about people, some of the frustrations going around and hear it all the time of like, it's been months of silence. And that's kind of why I was like, it's only been a month.
Yeah. A month is not a lot
There
in
is
a
a
game
timeline.
perspective.
A timeline in terms of when shit went down, how long it takes a human being to respond. Now you have legal involved, the government involved. They've ripped apart the game. An entire content calendar got completely destroyed and had to be rewritten on the fly. We were talking, how large did you say Infold was? I think we talked about it at one point.
Oh, I have
There's-
to look it up. I'm not sure.
But we're
And they're
talking
hiring.
and they're hiring. There's a couple hundred people involved in this. That,
Absolutely.
you know, side note, guys, I don't know if you've ever worked in the gaming industry. I haven't, but I've heard enough horror stories about
Yep.
what it is to be inside the gaming industry, the unpaid overtime, the hours,
It's called crunch.
It's called crunch. The practical slave labor that is happening within the gaming industry, the things that are going on behind the scenes, you need to be aware of. You need to understand how this works.
I think another good example of this is animation YouTube channels, okay? So I follow a couple of different animation channels on one of them being Jaden Animations. Now, Jaden has a team, so she's able to post content relatively regular. Meanwhile, other small like indie animation channels, they might post once or twice every 3 months, and that is a normal time frame when you're working on your own, because these processes take so long. Then you got to play the video back, make sure it's good enough for YouTube, then you got to render it, then you got to export it. It's a very long-winded process, and I think people have just got such unrealistic expectations that because of a lack of exposure, that I think this is why there was such a big, like, you know, outrage with regards to what happened when Caleb dropped. Like, I will admit, I was very angry about the situation and angry at the fact that we hadn't heard anything yet. But that's the thing, I'm not angry at Info directly. I'm blaming the aunties. The aunties are the ones who caused this. The aunties are the ones who went way over. They're the minors that started this shit in the first place. They have no part playing Love and Deepspace. Your children, you shouldn't be playing the game, period. Second of all, sending literal cow dung to an office just because a sixth love interest came out and your man is not getting enough content in the nicest way possible. Infold knows how much money these men make for them. Do you really think they're going to neglect them for as long as they are? No. Also, the fact that you got to be realistic about resource allocation. And I know what people say about, oh yeah, well the main story takes ages. I've said a point in my last time I reacted to one of these, I'll say it again. I would rather Infold release one main story update every 6 to 9 months and it be fucking banging, rather than release a main story update every 3 months and it be shit. And that is why I'm so angry at the situation with regards to Valko's cancellation. Not just because he was basically gonna top Silas for me, if like, or at least be on the same level as him, but also the fact that he was planned for the main story. Now he's gone. Info have got basically one or two options. They either A, bring him back, which is going to take a long time, or B, they have to rewrite the entire main story. There's going to be gaps. It's not going to make sense. Angel made a really good video with regards to like foils and things like that, so I'd recommend go checking out Angel's Corner for that particular thing, or even Gotcha Goblin, so Lynn's channel. But this whole shit is interlinked, and now that that link has been taken out, you're kind of left with a chain and you got to try and reconnect it, and it's not gonna go as well, and you haven't got as much room to go. So it's just so stupid, this entire situation. It really is. Oh, we've got 13 minutes. Oh my god.
Because one,
I believe we're gonna get this done.
Basic human empathy and being able to hold companies accountable for shitty work practices is something that we should be doing.
Let's have a look. About 1,600 women received payment from Riot Games after a discrimination suit. Oh my god. And then Activision Blizzard to pay $54 million to settle California state workplace discrimination claims.
Oh, is that going to be the After Dark episode?
Oh God,
that's the After Dark episode. We'll go into that in an After Dark episode.
You don't want to hear Nikki cry.
Not right now. But also, when you're an informed consumer and you understand how things are being put together, how a live game service works, the amount of hours that go into making this happen, and all of this, it gives you a better understanding and also stops false assumptions and catastrophizing.
Yeah.
Mama's going to come in here for a second to say, babies, Mama's been listening and watching your messages. Some of you are catastrophizing.
Catastrophizing is a cognitive distortion that prompts people to jump to the worst possible conclusion, usually with very limited information or objective reason to despair. When a situation is upsetting but not necessarily catastrophic, they still feel like they are in the midst of a crisis.
Some of you are going way too far, and that's not mentally healthy, and Mama is deeply concerned.
Yeah.
And I don't like talking about myself in the third person, but I'm going to do it for a hot second.
I was like, girl.
Guys, I really need you to breathe a little bit here.
Yeah. It's a game.
There's been some wild conspiracy theories going around, those bad faith actors. I don't know who put it in people's heads that if Valko can get ripped out, that the OG3 can get ripped out. It's not going to happen.
No.
Not without destroying the game completely. The devastation it would wrought, and I'm not even talking monetarily, I'm talking literally the game itself.
Yeah.
To unhook all of that. There are limitations to what can be done. There are limitations to how fast it can be done. And there's a lot of layering and complexity here. And I appreciate the fact that we all live in a modern age with modern technology that gets us really used to like instant gratification. There is not going to be instant gratification here.
This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, unfortunately.
Things that we need to do for emotional safety, mental safety, is understanding this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You need to set your pace. What did I just say? And you need to just keep an eye on it. Okay? The bun is in the oven.
We just gotta we gotta wait for it to cook.
Whatever's going on in Infold is going on. There is a leadership team involved that is making decisions. And the rest of Infold is held hostage by that leadership team.
Yeah.
There's only so many hours in the day in terms of programming, how fast they can reprogram a game, how fast they can re-put together an entire content calendar for the year.
Yeah.
There are limitations. This is going to take time. Resolution is going to take time. The Infinity Nikki case study that Nikki's going to be talking about on Wednesday, check out the VOD. I'm sure it's going to be great. This is me from the past praising for the future because it's going to be good. You're funny, baby. The faith is there. But you've already mentioned some facts about the Infinity Nikki. We can look at the Infinity Nikki fiasco and see that Infold has taken steps.
Yeah.
Is it perfection?
No.
God, no. They've still got a lot of work, and I also subscribe to the hire my bestie. She can fix this. Because God, if I, with no marketing experience, look at them and go, come on, guys. Jesus, there's a problem.
And again, no one's defending, like saying that they did a great job. They absolutely haven't.
No,
they have cocked this up 9 ways from Sunday. What we're saying is that we can kind of look at what happened with Infinity Nikki and see that they've already made some changes, still not the best ones, but there have been some. And we can put in the understanding that this is going to take a couple of months to
spoiler from the stream that is yet to happen. It took them 11 and a half months to get to what the industry calls and is cited in reviews and on news editorial sites. It took Infold 11 months to get the game back up. And
11 months.
With a, quote, cautious trust, end quote, feeling with the community.
They have to, because it's not just, they bring back Valko and that's it, everything's sorted. No, the company's got to work on bringing back the trust, and that is going to be the hardest part for them.
So that was kind of the bit of hope, is that they can recover, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's just going to take a lot of time. And that's just the way that it sadly is. And it comes down to your choice, too, of how long can you hold out? Do you want to hold out? Are you going to do what I did and just be like, I tried, I think I stuck around, Mama, for a week and a half?
Yeah.
I stuck around longer because I was working with Infold at the time. So, I knew they were working behind the scenes.
Grace.
I did give them some grace. But I was like, I pieced the fuck out. I was like, I'm done. I have not come back to this game in a year.
Yeah. And that might be something that y'all have to do and live vicariously through other people, and that's cool too.
And that's fine.
We're in this for a bit. This is not going to be something where we turn and burn. Infold's not coming out tomorrow and being like, we're putting Valko in. La la! Like, that's not how this is going to go. No. This is going to be
However, if they do, I'm totally going to have you on the next podcast say it's not like he's going to get $1 billion tomorrow. I just want to be real
Mama's
clear.
going to start manifesting shit. I don't know. Right. The void summons. I don't know. I just exist here. Look, I'm putting out the vibes and I want that to happen, but I also want us to temper our expectations.
Yeah.
If the past is prologue and Infinity Nikki is the precedent we're setting, the case study we're citing, we've got about a year of this, of them making changes, making adjustments, having to earn the trust of their own government so they don't get shut down.
Yeah.
Because again, this is an entirely different culture, an entirely different country. They have different rules, regulations, and whatnot. This is not a Western studio. So it's not like they can just roll and do what we're used to over here in the global servers from game companies.
Yeah.
So they got to jump through hoops and earn that level of trust. Then they've got to jump through hoops to earn all of our trust back.
Yeah.
This is going to take time. This is a settle in. We're in for family therapy. We're
Woo!
going to go for a few sessions and work through our frustrations. And hopefully Infold is moving forward in good faith, and learning from their
Again.
past mistakes.
Hopefully, don't attribute to
I'm
malice.
like absolutely
What can be
stuck.
attributed
Oh, God, my
to
armchair.
Yeah, sadly,
Oh.
yes. What, I don't.
Sadly, yes.
Sometimes it's not
It's
evil.
hard.
Sometimes it's
It
just
is hard sitting in this chair for God knows how long. I'm trying not to be too fidgety. Like, we're nearly at the end of the video, but I need to stand up. I need to move.
stupidity. And I know that's not what people want to hear. I know people want a resolution. This is going to be slow but steady. It's going to be little things over time. It's gonna take a bit, kids. It's going to take a bit. And so the question becomes to you, what is the best decision moving forward for you and your mental health and your anxiety level? Because if this is just something you're going to live in, that's not good.
No.
You've got to be able to take a break. You've got to be able to take a breather mentally from that. So you can do what Nikki did and walk away from Nikki, which is really weird to say as a sentence.
I know. It really is.
Or you can stick around but not spend any money. You're going to have to decide individually what that looks like for you and how you want to interact with the game.
Yeah.
I will
Agreed.
always exist, darlings, as your proxy into the world of games, whether it be lads or anything else. I will always be here putting out content if you wish to engage but not engage. Totally cool.
Yeah.
I am here to support you.
I'll be here for my hobbies and interests to give you lots of facts, because the only thing that comforts me at night is data.
Exactly.
This is how I deal.
She's got to spread those sheets, everybody.
I feel like we need to get Nikki and Muggs. Like, I got data for that.
Spread the sheets. So I hope my sheet spreading has helped you.
Woo!
Maybe. And if you have
Possibly.
other game, like, if you ever want to talk more game development stuff, like everything from vertical slice to launch, post-launch, all that, I'm always down to chat on that on the comments and Discord. We actually started a specific game dev thread because we have a few aspiring and budding developers. So
Oh wow.
always
Okay.
happy to chat that as well beyond this, because trying to condense an entire let's talk about game cycles into an hour podcast is a little tricky.
Yeah. I feel this was more of a I'm here in spirit and support, but there was a lot of
You're
really...
here to gentle parent. You're internet mom.
I'm internet mom, but I mean, for this episode, this is very much a hi everybody.
I'm sorry.
The thing is, like, I love Void being there because, like, a lot of some of you lot call me your internet mom. No. Mama Void is more of an internet mom than me.
I don't know what to call this.
Aww.
But we're here. We're here. We're talking about it. We're just as passionate as you are. We just want to remind you, guys, especially since we're a little further in age, that I think this is one of those moments where it's just your internet moms are here to say, hey kids, I want you to take a breath. We're gonna get through this. There's a lot at play. Some stuff you're aware of, some stuff you weren't aware of, and hopefully after this you are more aware of. And we're gonna take the picture in, and we're gonna roll. We're gonna do what we do. We're gonna get through this. And hopefully Infold will make the necessary
Pull their head
steps.
out of their ass. What? Sorry.
Yes, that. I was trying to say it in a different term.
I'm gonna say it. I worked in this industry too long. Pull your head out of your ass, guys. Do it.
What
you
she
know what
said.
to do. You can do it.
So
It's not easy. Nut up. Get it done.
Just go get it done. Get it
on
done.
that note, I have nothing else to say
I have
about
a
this
day,
topic.
But I have my unhinged sign off.
Woo!
I even did that because I felt like it was mean to be like, hey mama, do the thing.
Yeah, I don't got nothing. This is
It's International Cat Day on Saturday,
woo,
which I feel like is very on point for us.
Woo!
it is.
Yay,
We support this.
cats.
We love
Binks is
cats.
gonna
Cat
get more
live,
treats.
cat live.
I mean, if I could, look, if International Cat Day got me a cat lid delivered to my front door,
That's a new service we're starting.
that's a. Can I
want another cat so badly, but
sign
I
up for
can't
that?
until
That'd be
after we
great.
move
I would
out.
love just
which I'll
manifest
talk
that
about more
right
about that
there.
then
I'd
towards
be
the end
like,
of the year.
get into my bedroom.
Perfect. I love that for us.
I need to talk to you about cleaning your plate.
I need to spread the good word of Gege in my bedroom as a cat boy.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Manifest it.
See, wasn't that a great way to sign off this whole entire thing of me talking for an hour? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Nikki, don't apologize, girl. You're
Don't
talking
sorry.
facts.
You're gonna have to sorry jar.
I'll
Yeah.
sorry jar myself.
Yes. So, anyway, if you like deep dives into industry talks, I have no idea
do
what
the
else.
mama send-off voice. Do it.
Meow. Here we go.
Give us the mama
If
sign
you-
off. Do it.
If you too love industry talks and deep dives and being gentle parented by two random strangers on the internet,
Woo!
if you like the occasional dirty joke, which really didn't happen here except for at the beginning, which was kind of cool, good job me, you might want to check out the rest of Love and Chick Space. We're not usually this serious. It feels like we have been for the last few episodes, except for the last episode. I did an amazing job on the last episode. If you haven't seen it yet, you really should check that one out as like a palate cleanser to this. Yeah, like, subscribe, follow on the usual suspects and places: Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Because fuck the man, but also use the man how you need to make it in life.
Excellent.
Shout out to our members as always. Shout out to all of you for your comments, your likes,
I should probably start
dislikes.
signing off my videos.
whatever it is. We love the interaction. We love that you're here. We're still kind of scratching our heads at how we've made it to over 1,000 subscribers.
Yes!
I'll tell you
Well
so I can make
done!
mama vomit when we get more.
Well
Oh,
done,
yeah.
Have her
guys.
do a
I'm sorry,
Bulgarian split squat and then show her the numbers. It would be great.
Excellent.
We hope to see you on the next one. So until then, this is Mama Void and the illustrious Nikki T signing off. Bye.
Well done, you two. That was a ramble for like over an hour, which I've somehow nearly turned into a 2-hour video, but you know what? Fucking worth it. Honestly, I love this channel so much. These two are definitely one of the content creators that like stand out to me, at least on the lad space so far this year. If there's any other videos that they have done, please let me know so I can do a reaction to it. I do have more reactions with regards to the Valko situation coming soon. I'm trying to kind of jump on them as and when they happen, so that way, you know, it doesn't become irrelevant with how quickly this thing is moving. So, if I've missed anybody, please let me know. I'd be more than down. I'm hoping to do some more reactions to Angel Corners videos sometime next week. I'm going to start going into some of the lore side of the game. And I'm also going to be doing more World Underneaths. Let me know. Do you guys still want me to play the new content, like the new Caleb event for the Summer Surge banner? Or do you want me to just basically continue business as normal? Or do you want me to continue just focusing on covering old content? Because if you guys want to be able to live the game through me, I can do that. But I just want to do it in a place where we all feel comfortable, if that makes any sense. But anyway, on that note, I am going to sign off because I have now been recording for nearly 2 hours, pretty much straight up. I only took a 5-minute break earlier. I need food, and I also need to jump into a meeting with my mod, which I should have jumped into over an hour ago. So, I'm going to sign off. See you guys later. Make sure, if you're a channel member, you do get early access to videos when they become available, when Mim is not running so stupidly far behind. I was sick the last couple of days. I'll talk about that a little bit later on, but keep an eye out because I've got a bunch of new series coming out soon. I'm clearing off some older series, and I may or may not have a couple of projects in the pipeline that I haven't announced. So I'll see you guys later. Take care.